You've probably already guessed which boat we chose. It's the Beneteau Oceanis 390. And from this moment on, we officially became sailboat owners. I arrived late last night. And honestly, it was pretty difficult getting to the little village where the yacht is located. She's docked at Lerkil Hamn Marina. It's a tiny little village, and basically there's nothing around here. Getting here in the evening was pretty complicated, because by bus it would have taken around 2 or even 3 hours. So in the end, I took a taxi using the Bolt app. That cost me around 56 euros. For the whole trip, about 30 kilometers. And by the time I finally got here, it was already late, so I didn't manage to do much. And I've got a lot to do. I need to prepare the boat before departure. And honestly, I don't have that many days left. Today is June 24th, and by the end of the month, or July 1st at the latest, I have to leave this marina because they asked me to free up the berth. And somehow, I need to get a lot done before then. I need to install the depth sounder and the autopilot, since I'll be sailing the boat alone. All these things are really important. I took a bus into the town of Kungsbacka, and apparently today is some kind of holiday. June 24th here is their midsummer celebration, kind of like our Jaani night. Nothing is open. Absolutely nothing. Amazing! All the big supermarkets are closed. And the craziest part? Even McDonald's is closed. Seriously, you can't buy anything anywhere. Luckily, before leaving Sweden last time, I stocked the boat with water and some food that could last a while. Things like canned food, with a long shelf life. But right now, the situation is rough. I thought I'd at least grab a burger at McDonald's, but nope. Actually, I did find one supermarket selling some food. Though obviously nothing ready-made, so I bought a few things. Some paper towels, and more water just to survive the trip back. But there's really nothing else I can do right now. I wanted to buy a pot, or at least a kettle for the induction stove so I could boil water, but there's nowhere to buy one. Nowhere! So I'll keep looking tomorrow. I'll come back into town again and see what happens. There's nobody in town. The whole place is empty. All the Swedes are probably relaxing somewhere by the sea or lakes at different campgrounds. I'm basically alone here. Now I'm heading toward the sea. That's probably where everyone is. I flew in on June 21st, and today is already June 24th. So yeah, the timing turned out pretty inconvenient. I couldn't come any earlier because technically we only bought the yacht. Well, she officially became ours on June 6th, and I flew here for the deal itself, just to make sure the yacht was actually here before transferring the money. I checked that everything matched what we discussed and what I had already seen earlier. When I first came here to choose a boat, and after that, I had to leave for Tenerife in Spain for 2 weeks, because we were looking for property there, and needed to view a lot of apartments. I left Veronica there alone. After we had already chosen an apartment, there were still lots of things to handle. the notary and all that stuff, but I couldn't stay any longer because we only had the marina spot here in Sweden until the end of June. Right now, there's no gas on board. But there is electricity and an induction stove that works while we're in marinas. But the problem is, the pots don't work with induction cooking. So basically, I can't cook anything. Can't make tea, can't boil food. Nothing works. The only thing I can use is the frying pan, because that actually works on induction. I even tried boiling water for tea in it, but honestly, it turned out terrible. So today, my plan was to finally find an electric kettle and some pots that actually work with an induction stove. Sweden is one of those countries where everything closes on holidays. Even the gas stations are fully automated, meaning you just can't find anything anywhere. Everything's closed. I found one store where I managed to buy a little bit of food that I can cook. That's it. Only a few emergency places are still open. Bars and restaurants are open right now, but everything there is super expensive, and we're trying to stay within a certain budget. So honestly, we definitely didn't plan for everything to be closed. Anyway, since I somehow managed to find some food and at least one open store, possibly the only one working around here. So now, I'm going to cook myself some tuna. Let's see how this turns out. We've got a frying pan, tuna, salt, pepper, and some oil. All right then, let's cook this tuna. Open it up. Looks like 2 steaks, maybe? Yep. We're not overcomplicating this, just gonna do it simple. Add a little salt. A bit of pepper. Pat it down a little. And the other side too. There we go. This is a super quick way to cook tuna. I'm hungry, so it needs to be fast. And that's it. Looks like the tuna's ready. Now I just need to grab it. And eat. Ta! Today is June 25th. And today's already a much luckier day because some stores finally opened. So I stocked up on a bunch of food and random stuff, all kinds of different things. And I bought a cordless drill, a drill driver. I'll need it for installing the autopilot, because bringing something like that from Estonia on a plane is pretty difficult. So honestly, it was easier just to buy one here. Ideally, I would have borrowed one from someone, but there's nobody around. Everyone's on vacation. I found one really good store that was open. It's called Rusta. They've got everything except food. I bought a kettle there, so we can make coffee or tea on the boat. And I also bought 2 blankets, some storage boxes, and honestly, everything was pretty cheap for Sweden. I even bought a putty knife there. Basically, I picked up almost everything I needed. Let me show you what I got. So, first of all, I wanted these food containers for a reasonable price, so we can cook food ahead of time and keep it in the fridge. That way you don't have to cook something every single time. Alright, here. Then we've got... By the way, these containers were only €1 each. I also bought 2 blankets, 170 by 130 centimeters. Pretty big, actually. They were around €2 each. Also a scraper. Think it was around €2 too. I'll need it later for cleaning the bottom of the boat. And ta-da! Until now, I couldn't boil water or make tea or coffee. Now I finally can. I was searching for a cheap kettle around here, and this one ended up costing about €15. Honestly, bringing one with me here would have been a pain. Next, we've got this flexible cutting board. For fish, meat, whatever, really. It bends, which is super convenient. You can fold it up and tuck it away somewhere. There's never enough space on a yacht. Tomatoes. What else is interesting? Some hangers. A brand new pot with a lid. It costs something like, also, around €12, I think. And a new frying pan, too. It was on some crazy discount, I think around €25. Apparently, it normally costs way more, but they gave it a huge discount today just because I showed up. So yeah. The old pans can finally go in the trash, because whenever you cook with them now, the food tastes like old grease and everything that's been cooked in them before. Oil, fat, all those old flavors stuck in there. Straight to the trash. A sponge for the pan. Sorry, a brush. A new spatula for cooking, too. The old one was already pretty well used. Electrical tape. Different little clips. A marker. Zip ties. And now, drum roll, a cordless drill. I'll need it for installing the autopilot, because you can't exactly bring a whole pile of tools onto a plane, so I had to find one here. I just grabbed the cheapest one I could find. Ended up costing around €55, with the battery and charger included. There we go. And that's still not everything. I've got a backpack, too. Chips. What kind of omelet has no eggs? Well, now I've got eggs, too, so I can finally make a real omelet. Pesto. Olives. Creme brulee. I also bought laundry detergent because there's a washing machine here at the marina, and you can use it for free. But obviously you need something to pour into it, and I didn't have anything on board. So now we've got detergent and can finally wash clothes properly. Also some special waterproof tape just in case. Snacks too. Chocolate-covered nuts. Cleaner for surfaces, windows, pretty much everything here. And for the drill, I also bought different drill bits for wood, metal, and plastic. And there's also this special silicone repair tape. It's apparently some kind of magic tape, like you can wrap it around a pipe, and after a while it turns into one solid surface. So yeah, we'll test it out. Hopefully we won't neat it down. Alright, I think that's everything. Now I'm gonna unpack all this. Put everything onto the shelves. And make myself some dinner. Eat, sleep, and tomorrow's a new day. Alright, bye-bye.